Alright, so, before I get into this, if you're seeing this, it means, I decided to stop posting videos of my progress on this world on my Instagram. And instead, I want to start, making videos on this world. This is my forever world, so hopefully it's gonna last me a long time. Let it be known, I have some mods on here, like, that's not normal, right? But, it's mainly quality of life, because that's much better than having to separately open them. Quality of life, and as I'm playing on the latest version with, like, the spears, there aren't a bunch of mods out yet, but in the future I might end up adding some, like, Vanilla Plus stuff. I want to see how this does, obviously, that's why you'd be seeing it. I have to stop using those jukeboxes, which kind of sucks, because I have the new lava chicken disc. And it's really good, but I digress. Basically, for the past few days on my Instagram, I've been posting about this thing, right? Right now, it's only got so much finished, right? This is the most of it that I have. And most recently what happened was way over that way, where I finally connected the two parts of the wall. They didn't line up properly, and that's because over on here, in front of my house, this ballast, I think that's what they're called, the little cornerstone towers, this guy was, I didn't build it properly, right? So, I ended up having to take this huge, like, it wasn't completely built like the wall over there. It's only foundations, kind of like what you see with the log pillars over that way up, right? This is what, I believe the third time that I'm relaying this wall foundation. It's kind of getting to me, kind of getting on my nerves, but we thug this kind of stuff out, right? We don't mind a bit of challenge, that's what makes all the things worth doing, or something like that. You'll see over there I have other ballasts. If they're not called ballasts, then I'm sorry, you can comment that or whatever. But, I have more of these, like, tower foundations. But yeah, it's already been a pretty extensive project. This right here, obviously, this doesn't look like super natural terrain generation, and that's because it isn't. I filled this, like, it wasn't a full river, it was kind of like a little, there was a little puddle of water in the middle of it. It was just like kind of a cutoff, but right now I'm gonna end up continuing the wall over this, but once I'm done, I might end up tunneling through here so that I could have some sort of, like, a gate or something. It's it's gonna be, it's a forever world, it's gonna be an extensive project, and even then, these are, like, the wall, getting a little tunnel through here, these are gonna be, like, relatively minor projects in the grand scheme of things, so, it's already looking pretty good, right? Like, over there, I have my little farm, I've got, like, some crosses cut out for windows, but I'm not sure what I want to do with those yet, so I haven't put glass in there. I have a little box over there, that's where I keep my villagers. They have a actually, hold on. What I really like, these is, you can point with them. Little pointer right there. A backyard, I guess? And that's where, like, their workstations are. They sleep inside. I got this farm right here. I've got some horses, and I did put the chickens inside the barn, because I don't know. I'm not super happy with the design of this thing. I think it's mainly, like, these little side things. But I mean, other than that, I really like the color palette, the dark oak, mangrove, and pale oak. As well as like the spruce fences. I think maybe I'll end up replacing those with dark oak fences, but like baseline is, everything here works together pretty well, and I'm definitely fanciful for it, right? Once I get this wall put up finally, if that ever eventually happens, one of my first few projects will probably be putting up a new garden, or updating that one. I don't know, because I'll need to grow, what, beetroots, pumpkins, melons, and carrots. I'll probably want to get some of these guys as well. You know, little pigs. Put them in there and have some pork for eating, I guess. But, yeah, that's all I've done in this world so far. A few thousand blocks away from spawn, so it's not like spawn location, but it's a very nice place. I like it. It's you'll see that it's a plains biome, but it's very, very expansive, right? That's because I'm using large biomes on this world, and that's hence why I had to go out so far. Because the world spawn on the seed was like it's like some huge taiga biome with like those big trees over there, but like they naturally spawn. So I was like, you know, spruce, lovely wood, right? But not all I want to build out of. What I did initially start, I didn't know what kind of a biome I wanted to live in. So I kind of just like looked around, and then I found this place, and I was like, hey, you know what? A plains is like perfect staging ground for, you know, building, right? So I was like, yeah, you know what? That'll work. And yeah, so that's how it initially started. Initially, I had it on vanilla. The world was vanilla, and you know, I updated it because I made it maybe a week ago. You know, a few days after I made it, the spears and stuff update came out, and I was like, oh yeah, let's cop that, right? I really enjoyed it, and I was like, you know what? That's really awesome. I really like the spears, but you know, maybe I can try on some mods. So, you know, naturally, I get Curse Forge out, and you know, they don't have too many mods. Obviously, you know, the update's only a few days old. But, they do have, like, a lot of basic quality of life stuff that I use. They don't have just enough items yet, which kinda sucks, but, I'll be patient. And yeah, obviously, you've probably noticed that I'm using shaders, which is weird. For the longest time, I was like, you know what, shaders aren't my thing. You know, they're really convoluted and hard to download, because you gotta get Optifine and all this stuff. But then, you know, I started playing modded, and I still didn't like shaders because I still wasn't sure how to install them. And then I finally, like, figured it out. Unlock it for a bit. There we go. Okay. Then I finally figured it out, and you have to have, like, sodium and iris, or maybe just one or the other. I'm still not 100%, but you know, I downloaded them both, and then I got these complementary shaders. This is complementary Unbound, I believe. And I gotta say, it looks phenomenal, especially with the faithful resource pack. I mean, yeah, this, like, that's beautiful, right? I just, like, walk out my doors, see all this, you know. You'll have to ignore the sugarcane. I want to do a quick house tour, actually, I think. And yeah, I guess real quick, I'll explain. You know, I got Start Digging in Your Butt Twin for my shovel. The Chuzinator for my axe, right? The Excavator, that's one of my pickaxes. The other one is the Ore Eater, you know. I sincerely hope that, like, spelling eater like that isn't offensive in any fashion, but I doubt it. This is the Zom Debrainer, right? It has Smite 4, if I'm reading that right. As well as Sleeping Edge 3, which... It's not... Against crowds, especially of undead, it's really good, obviously, right? And I actually... Right here, this thing you might have noticed, that's my mine. And down there, I have a little mob spawner. It's for zombies, and I'll grind zombies out with this thing to, you know, repair all my tools and whatnot, my armor. But, other than that, like, if it's not undead, it's not really that useful. But it's still a good weapon, you know, it's a diamond sword. I got this, you know, the Glock 17 Go Burr. Right, it's a crossbow. That's... Saying this kind of stuff out loud really makes me feel lame. But, and then I got this Dragon Spear Artorias, you know, I named it after the Dark Souls boss, right? Pretty tough dude, you know? Really like Artorias. He was like... That's like the initial reason I got into Dark Souls, because I saw like a render of him, a 3D render, and I was like, holy, that dude looks cool as hell. I gotta know, like, what's his deal? And, Dark Souls, boom. Down here, we got my enchanting room. This is like the second anvil I've made, because they break. I don't know, I've always kind of hated that feature. It makes sense, to an extent, I guess. I don't know, I've never really seen... I don't know if y'all watch, like, those videos of dudes, like, blacksmithing stuff out of, like, I don't know, old rusty springs and all other, like, car parts or something, but, like, they're always using anvils, and their anvils never crack, right? But, and then I got my grindstone. I got this barrel, which I forget what I used it for, but it's irrelevant now. Here, got my enchanting table. It's... I think this is maxed out. I don't know. I've always been kind of foggy on enchanting, because I always relied on villagers for my books. But then, I don't know, it was only like a year or two ago when I learned that from enchanting tables, if it's high enough level, you can get multiple enchants off of one, like, max level enchant. And I was like, holy, that's kind of crazy, you know? And that's how I've got, like, all this pretty sick stuff. So, I'm thinking that's really it in terms of what I've already done in the world. I guess there's also the mine. Do a quick tour of that. It's very, very important, actually. It's, I've got stairs laying down. I've gone to the nether, and, you'll see that I got this compass here. It's a lodestone compass. And I've got it hooked up to a lodestone right inside, so that I don't get lost, but that was when I was just playing vanilla, right? When I didn't have this, map mod on, so. And, yeah, so, this is actually kind of helpful, because I don't want to walk around here. But, you know, I mined, like, directly into this mine shaft, and I was like, holy, this is, like, it's extensive, right? Hold on. I might be having... Yeah, right here is, it's like a double blocked off thing to the zombie spawner room. And then down here is where you can actually, like, swing at them from down, right here. Got drops in there, and oh yeah, so that's where I keep the disc. I'm gonna keep it on me now, I guess, because I don't want to pop it in and then the music play and then, like, get copyrighted or anything if I end up putting this on YouTube. But you know, that aside, down here I just got a long hallway, and I'm guessing that's where, yeah, that's what that is. So I've got this long hallway, which, incidentally, I mined into another mine shaft, and, it's, I don't know, ever since they released the, like, the mining or, like, the Caves and Cliffs update, I've really enjoyed mining a lot more, because Uh, Obviously, there's the big chasms and stuff you can find naturally. That's always fun to look around, you know. It takes hella torches, but it's always really fun to just like mine into one of them and be like, oh my gosh, let me get my water bucket, get down there, and go see whatever they have to offer. But yeah, you know, under here, this is where I get my glowing sex from, because glow squid will spawn in there. I think there's one. No, it's just glow lichen, but glow squids will spawn in there after long enough, and I'll just go kill them and use them for signs, like so. Down here, this is my deep mine, right? The one up there, that's for like iron and coal. I think it's at level 15, so it's directly oriented for iron. Down here, though, this is basically like bedrock. This is negative 59, and yeah, you got bedrock in the floor. And I've been quite a ways that way, quite a ways that way, but when I got going right here is it's not too far. It's it looks like a long distance with all these red torches when you're standing at one end or the other, but just up out here. But yeah, I've been quarrying this bit out for a bit, or yeah, I've been quarrying this out for a while. I say that, but once again, this is like a week and a half old world. I've not done too much with it. And even once I do finally mine this chunk out, all the way back to the main hallway, I still got like down here to go destroy. So, you know, the entire wall is going to be made of deep slate, so it's going to be very resource intensive down here. There's some redstone up there, but I've also found like a lot of diamonds while I've been down here. If you're looking for diamonds, if you ever struggle or anything like that, I most certainly recommend what's it called? Negative 59. Negative 59 is like the level to mine at. And I'm gonna do this real quick, cause yeah, there we go. So yeah, mine at negative 59 if you want good diamonds. It's like, cause I'm sure even throughout like this chunk here, I'm going to find so many ores. I mean, over that way there's a village, over that way there's another village. They're you know, I abducted my villagers from there. You know, I've had them kept in a box, and that's why I've been building this wall, because I want it to be a town. I want it to be a town so that my villagers can roam around without having to be like threatened by mobs or anything. This is so yeah, here this is the corner that I ended up having trouble with. I was like, I got here, and I was like, huh. It is not lining up properly. Why is that? I don't like that. Why are you doing this to me? And yeah, I went back to my house, saw that one ballast was off, and I was like, God damn it, that's not gonna be great. So, let's see, right, I think this is how I have it, right? There's two blocks, and that's awesome. This is the center block, right? The pathway, shoot, I guess I'll show it off when I go up there. But like, this is gonna be the center block, right? Pathway is gonna be like 3 blocks wide here, and then I have like oak planks connecting the logs on the top so that I can, you know, walk pretty freely. All that cool stuff, jazz, whatever it is. And then I have these towers that are very cramped comparatively. And yeah, now I'm going to have the displeasure of having to relay the walls all the way back across there, because I don't want to be in there. Yeah, there we go. Because, let me visualize for you. Basically, this went across here, all the way down to, like, roughly this area. It went all the way, yeah, it went now here, right? Just narrowly avoiding this ravine. Then change over here. So I have this little lava lake. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Obviously, I'm gonna have to block it off at first so the villagers don't die, but, you know, I enclosed that in the wall because I thought, you know, that's probably going to at some point be useful to have. Connects over here, right? Goes over here, over this little artificial landmass I made, and just continues all the way, but that didn't work out. So we're back to ground. We're back to square, like 1.5, I guess, square 2. You know, we're not completely restarting. This much I've made sure is correct. I hope. This is the 3rd time that I'm doing this, and I am going to be so peeved. What's going on here? Why is this not... That lines up. See, things like that make my heart drop to the floor. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's fine, it's fine. This is like how this is basically how the pattern goes, right? It's, log, 3 in front of it, these 4, another 3, and then another 4, and then a log section again, right? I actually got the design of this from... I don't remember the fella's name, but I saw a TikTok on how, like, you know, how to make your walls a lot more medieval. And I was like, hey, you know what, that's gonna be really useful, right? For my wall. You'll see, it's very historically inspired, right? It's like what, you know, like medieval Europe. Everything looks to be in line. All the bits. But yeah, if you look in front of here, this is actually like the angle, or like, I don't know, over on the water there. It's like the angle that I initially took the picture of when I first posted about my wall on Instagram. In here, you know, it's just a spiral staircase, nothing too fancy. You walk up here, and you have the option of going up this ladder, and the same option is available in that ballast. But, you know, you go up here, and you got, like, these little, block, whatever they're called. Maybe this is what the I think these might be ballasts. I'm not sure. I'll have to re-up on my castle vocabulary, for certain, but the wall, like, this is, what I was talking about with it being 3 wide. You've got, like, this part, and then you've also got wood, right? Because what the Europeans, when they were building their castle, what they do is, like, this part of the wall is super thick already, right? It's gonna take, like, if you don't have a pickaxe, like, think about this historically, right? You know, you have, like, enemy troops coming up to your wall. They're not gonna be carrying pickaxes or anything. They're just gonna have, like, swords and stuff. Swords and halberds and spears and whatnot. They're not taking, like, this is, like, technically, this is, like, a 2-3 meter thick wall, so it's, you know, it's pretty thick, you know? People aren't just getting through that, right? So, to conserve on resources, what they do is they, like, these little back parts, they would, make them out of wood instead, so that they had even more room to walk around, but, you know, it's not like making an an unreasonably thick wall where they, are just wasting resources at that point. And like I said, you know, you go up here, you can just dance around. You go back down here. It's another spiral staircase all the way down. You got another bit of rampart over here. This is the first time that I was dealing with, like, changes in elevation. And this solution I've come up with, I like quite a bit. It's very smooth, I guess you could say. On the subject of these corner bits are going to be a little harder, or like the outer corner bits, because there's 2 kinds of corners. with when it comes to these. There's what I call the inner corners, right? These are much easier to give access to because, you know, you just like put a little outcrop here. I could add another entrance here if I wanted to, if I like ended up leveling this mountain. And then the other kind of corner you got is these like outer corners, I refer to them as. And these, the only real good way to enter them is from the side, like or not the side, the corner, like this. Because you could enter from the top, but then you're going in there, coming down here, and you're not really able to go anywhere. So, yeah, the corner is kind of like the best way I could figure out how to do that, and it's fairly intuitive. That's, you know, just some slabs. Still makes everything nice and shapely. Yeah. If you play Minecraft, alright, and you've never gotten your hands on a shovel, like a diamond shovel, netherite shovel with like, what is it, efficiency 4? Oh my god, you have to get it. Okay, you have to get one, go in survival. It is so satisfying to just be able to do this. Like that, satisfying moments of all time, right? this. This works. Oh! Huh! Oh my god, guys, I did it. I did it. The wall. The wall is nowhere near finished, but the base of it is... This is this. Oh, hold on, wait. There you go. This is proof. This is it. This is like... This is the outline. This is the wall. This is gonna be the wall. Alright, look at that. Alright, look at that geometry. Okay, I don't know why this is such, like, so outcropped. I kind of wish I just went across there, but it doesn't matter, okay? This is... This is it. This is the start of something massive. You know? Just like something else that was massive. Pretty massive. That will certainly be dragged into 2026? Yeah, sorry. 2007 guy right here. Kind of an old head, right? Holy. But yeah, it's laid down. It's laid down. It's there. This is the beginning. This is what the beginning feels like. This is going to be so magnificent. This wall is going to be humongous. It's going to be like, look at that. Look at that looming over there in the distance. Okay? This thing, God, it's going to be massive. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be protective. Alright? It is going to keep safe its residents. For sure, without a doubt in my mind. Alright, so, if you stuck around this long, thank you. I hope you enjoyed part 1.1, since I already got some prior progress going on. I know I've enjoyed this already, and I'm looking forward to continuing the series. Within the next 2 weeks, I should have the second installation coming out, so, once again, thank you for watching.